Having a look at the final here, it will be Molly Picklum of Australia taking on Caity Simmers of the USA. Caity, of course, our reigning world champ. To approach your opening run here, she'll be first up. She'll go down the basin on the right before coming back. I think we're all probably pretty familiar with the pattern of how this is going to go down right now. We're into it. Women's final is underway here at Surf Abu Dhabi, an historic moment here in the Middle East right now. Molly Picklum, a couple of wins notched already on the Championship Tour. There's a hefty slice through the lip and then through the tube. Molly covered again, nice and deep. Good poise from her, really nice control. And then just patient when she comes out. She'll tag that and just get a little more twists in the way the board is facing, and then clearing up the maneuvers for the tube. Not mad deep that one, but really nice to see. Grab rail cutty, well executed. Gets a little snip to finish as well. We're underway.
That was really well timed, super measured. I feel she just wanted to get a completion there. I'm feeling that she wants to put pressure on Caity, and by doing that, you need a completion. There was some really great surfing that happened there. However, I do feel that Molly's got a couple of gears more to click up onto. Let's break it down. Foam climb to start. And I mean, that wraparound maneuver is critical because it takes you right back to the power source. Logs some nice tube time here. I really like the double arm drag there. But I feel that Molly is leaving a bit, you know, she's just leaving a little bit more on the table. I think there's sort of more marrow to suck out of this bone. As we look to the inside tube here, I mean, this is the women's final. I like the theory of getting a completion and applying the pressure, but there's more marrow. As we look here, just really critical, but trying not to, it looks like to me she's trying not to overcook it. As we see these series of turns here, gets the tube on the inside. And another couple of little hits here. Looks like she gets the grab rail on that last carving maneuver.
So on the backhand now for her. And then a little bit of processing on what she just did. Obviously not getting too drawn into that and really thinking about this, stretching out in front. Beautiful scenes in the evening here at Surf Abu Dhabi. And the offshore just puffing up this wave and making it hollow and allowing Molly Picklum to go in the tube. Nice compact stance. Would look cool from in there.
Wow.
And absolutely clubs it for the first turn again. Look how tight in the pocket those turns up. Real critical. And then she'll need to go fast here. That last turn, just delaying a bit. Went up quite late for that maneuver to try and get back down and get on the gas. Caity Simmers about to get involved here. Her first wave of the women's final. Simmers been electrifying throughout with her approach. Doing some really different stuff, even from the takeoff with that drive down towards the fence and the big roundy. Right now, it's more traditional in terms of the approach to the maneuvers, but the maneuvers are great. And then that first turn sets her up for a crazy tube. A little extra on that one, almost double the length of some of the others we've seen. Check the carving work from her. Little jam in the lip, tapping with the back foot.
Oof.
Giving it loads there as well. So smooth for that entry.
No way.
Just flicks off the speed with a snap into the tube. And on the face with another snap. She'll just catch the nose on the last maneuver, but the flow throughout that was crazy.
Shouldn't leave any marrow on that bone, Paul. That was excellent surfing right there. I just absolutely love to see that. Different lines, explosive. That's what we like to see. Final is on.
Women's finals happening here. Here, another look at Caity.
So whips it out of the top, parks it in the tube. I like that little stall. I mean, this is seriously deep. She's on that foam ball there. She's got a perfect read of this. One of the longer tube rides we've seen from the women. And then for me, it was all about that setup turn into that fin throw. She basically created that coping for herself to hit. then parks it in the tube incredibly late on this end section. And generally when we see people enter that last section really late to that barrel, they're not coming out. So yeah, massive number. And I mean, rightfully so. We thought it. We had the feeling when she took off. Let's see what she's got on the left.
Oh, here we go. Simmers on the backhand. Her first run on the left. Pastel colors reflected on the face of the wave. She'll decorate that with some turns. She'll get the stall here. It'll be a little while before she eventually does get pretty deep. Look how low she's able to stay and stick on that face. All right, now out. A little twitch from the rail. She'll get busy here. Getting to work. And now looking to drive and tuck for cover. The world champ getting in the barrel again. Out of that steep section. And hangs it up. Backside, couple of hits on the end. A nice hair flick too. And yet more great surfing from Caity.
Beautiful way to back up that 8.67. Just, I mean, right now she's just really applying that pressure on Molly just by finishing that ride and getting the completion. But she didn't just finish it, she parked it in the tube. She got some serious time in there. Let's have a look. Just absolute golden hour here as we look at this wave and break it down through the lip there. I just love how stylish she is. I mean, she's not completely covered here, but just the steez, the casualness to it. I mean, she gets fully shaded at that section for a few moments, comes out here. She draws a different line here to most women. You know, instead of the 3 turns, the traditional that we're seeing, just a big down carve and up into the lip, and then getting the finish. Rides out of this little barrel section. You can tell here that she's just wanting to get that finish. I feel like you can see it in her surfing. She just really wants to apply that pressure, as we see a beautiful little tube on the inside section with just glistening light. Really backlit tube. Very picturesque here. Right as that sun goes down. And just that beautiful carve down we see, just not that traditional sort of line that we're seeing taken in the pool. And I suspect big things.
The last right-hander of the event here for Molly Picklum. And she'll need to go with real quality. Looking to go excellent to stay in touch here. Try and get in front in this heat. She's under a bit of pressure from the opening run of Simmers. And she's given it absolute pelters on the outside before the tube section. So squeezing loads out of the first section. Tube riding's good. Now makes room down at the bottom of the wave. Lays down a carve with power. Nice. Driving that bottom turn and snapping out the tail in the lip again. Similar stuff, and she'll need to go fast here. She goes real fast. She's covering ground. She's out of a deep tube ride. Lays a hammer on the rail and a really nice turn to finish as well. So loads more there from Molly.
That was absolutely epic. That's exactly what she needed to do in that situation. You could really see it. She was pushing hard. She was setting up sections for herself. For me, I could see a bit more intensity than that earlier 7. I feel like she was giving it more. Just the read was a bit better. The rhythm was better on that wave. Let's have a look. Just already, you know, initially the setup into that tube, the fin throw, parks it in there, gets pretty deep. But for me, it's this big carve down, right? She actually creates coping for herself to hit. You watch, she goes up and actually tags this bit of foam. And then just once again, so critical and so late into this tube, gets so much time underneath the cover, backs it up with a big layback and tags it. So I get a better feeling than 7 personally. I think there's more energy in this wave. I think there's more spark.
It felt a lot better, didn't it? Think about the finish as well, that speedy entry into the tube. And from how far back she was, it always just gives you that bit of jeopardy in terms of this being a risky, are you going to make this maneuver? Why did she put that in there, Flick?
It's so hard to get, like if you get caught behind on this wave, it keeps you honest really quickly. So, I mean, she just really impressed me on that wave. But Caity potentially going to improve on her scoreline too.
Just thinking like takeaways, those turns that she did, they were absolutely huge. She got a 5.5 really just for that work through the middle of the wave. So some of those linked together with some deep tubes. Let's go, Picklum into it here, 7.68. the number she's after. She'll tag. Her last turn on the outside before, trying to stall and get cover. You see that tail just slide out a bit, and that puts her a little deeper as she directs her line out of the tube. Absolutely clobbers the first section again, tearing into it here. Picklum, she'll go a pump, low line, extended pump with speed, and now try and coil this and try and disappear. Doesn't quite get super deep, but that's a great hit to finish with as well. So asked a question, she's given an emphatic answer. 7.68, the number she's looking for. For sure, it's an improvement by quite some measure of what she was holding on to onto the left, but now it's down to the judges to really do their thing.
For sure, I think I can't wait to break this wave down, because there was some good damage done in terms of turns, right? Like, it was pretty explosive in my opinion. I mean, let's have a look. So sets this first section up, cracks it into the lip, gets the third one there, and that's really critical. Parks it in the tube. Now, I reckon she probably would have liked to have been a little bit deeper here. She does get that shade time, and you can see her ride that foam ball for a second. Comes out. I mean, these two maneuvers here were my favourite. 1-2 combo, so deadly. And then she kind of tries to get to this section a bit earlier, and you can really see her just trying to stomp on the brakes. She gets the fin release there at the end, and that will be all she wrote for Molly. No more waves to be surfed, just all in the hands of the judges. I mean, look at that. Look at the fin release she's getting on there. These two turns here for me, this was my favourite moment of the wave. It was the most dynamic.
Here we go, love this action. So the last right for Caity Simmers, world champ, driving for the fence, swooping back, banking off the white water, and then up. Super crisp and critical, gives that loads, and that's audacious. Wow. She waits with the bottom turn. Wow, really deep traveling. Simmers had no right to make it out of that, but she does somehow. That's why she's the world champ. She's ripping here, crazy as she compresses through that turn, tweaking out the tail. The recovery into the tube so late. Simmers traveling and down.
Holy moly. Wow, wow, wow. That is why Caity Simmers is the world champ. I mean, disbelief there from Griff. That was incredible. You could just see Molly before being like, come on, just give it to me so that I can ask the question of Caity. And I mean, I'm looking forward to breaking this down. This is what we like to see. The big roundhouse, using so much of the face of the wave, just drawing such a different line. She creates the coping for herself to hit. Again, so late up into the tube. This was seriously deep. Some tube piggery. Almost loses it there, and then comes around this section. Big carve down again, creating that coping. Gets that fin release, and another one just, she tries to do the same thing again, you know, just have that mastery to come out of that second barrel, but doesn't get the finish. Will it be enough without that finish? I mean, I'm thinking there was some seriously great surfing going on here. Just so stylish, so casual, different read on the wave. I think the roundhouse for me and the tube time alone was pretty spectacular.
In terms of a turn into the tube, the entry in with the bottom turn and then the turn after exiting, think of that as a combo of three distinct things. Crazy stuff. Just a touch late, trying to sneak under there. So entertaining.
0.3 better. It is just actually crazy.
All comes down to the very last wave of the women's final. Caity Simmers, world champ, swinging, setting up, covering a lot of ground, big amplitude to the turns. And that cruisy line becomes a compressed body position, pretty textbook one in terms of controlling the speed. Real well done. Grip in the face and then out onto this steep transition. That was a hammer. And then on the rail, so two maneuvers through the insides. She'll try and go into the tube here. get as deep as possible. Maneuvers on the end. She'll throw away the first turn out of the tube.
Wow.
Was that better than a 7?
Ooh, I feel like this is going to be, it's already extremely close, right? The totals are so crazy right now, the heat total, but
it's so close.
It's so close.
Your best one was your left was a 7-7.
This is the kind of battle you want in a final right now. You want it to be ping-ponging that leaderboard back and forth. Molly asking the question, Kaity answering.
We should go deeper.
Yeah, I think this. I honestly, I don't know where this is going to go. I think it could go one way, it could go the other. We might even get, you know, some judges give it, some judges not. Let's have a look. Carving here. A bit more of a down carve to set up this next section, which is super critical. And for me, I just loved the tube time she gets here. Just super deep, really toying with it. Had time to even wipe her hair out of her face. Comes out, it's this turn here. Just blows the fins out the back of the wave. Probably the most we've seen by the women so far on a left, on their backhand. And then again, just such dream-like conditions here at Surf Abu Dhabi. Just doesn't get the finish.
Oh, you got it.
Scores in for Caity Simmers. She's Queen of the Desert, 7-4-3 champion here at Surf Abu Dhabi.